All I knew is that I liked to act.
One crore 42 lakhs 85,000 and some small change. अब तक इतना FD इंटरेस्ट शकुन कमा चुका होता.
I found acting, getting on stage, therapeutic.
My friends are dying, but my heart's at peace.
Every opportunity I got, I did a play. And it was theatre. I had no dreams of being in film or anything like that. I wanted to do theatre.
Let me give you some advice. Number one, never mix music with politics.
What do you think is the most important quality for an actor to possess?
I think vulnerability. Vulnerability. Ability to be open and absorb things. Just be open and not be judgmental about anything.
My name is Sanjay. And you? No chit-chat.
I need you to review this. Stay up all night if necessary, but fix it.
लिखो।
क्या लगता है फिरोज?
सर मुझे तो इस आदमी की बातों पर बिल्कुल यकीन नहीं।
Death is like the toilet once. When you got to go, you got to go.
I'm super excited to be here with you in your wonderful home in Bandra.
Wonderful, wonderful. Good
Yes,
to see you, Samar.
you too, you too. Denzel Smith, fabulous actor, orator. I saw Bombay Jazz, by the way, yesterday. Quite fitting, isn't it? I mean, the Bombay sound was built on immigration, right?
Yeah.
Church choirs and American jazz legends.
Yeah.
Landing at the Taj Mahal Hotel.
Yeah, it started the sort of history of jazz in India started with the Taj Mahal.
Incredible.
Where they invited many bands that used to come and play there.
Right.
And usually these were colored musicians touring from America.
40s,
And who
50s.
came and, no, earlier, in fact, in the 1930s, 30s, yeah.
Yeah.
People like Cricket Smith, etc., etc.
Wow.
And they, they were resident bands, yeah.
Really?
So, yeah.
And the Bollywood sound was invented through these.
And they and the local musicians interacted with them.
Wow.
And sort of imbibed a lot from those musicians, and which later on got transposed, as it were, their influences into the recording scene and the film recording scene.
the Hindi
into
film
the Hindi
industry.
film industry. I don't like to call it Bollywood.
No, that's why I called it
The Hindi
right?
film music scene.
And that's what the play was about. It's quite fascinating.
Yeah. And these are unsung heroes.
Unsung heroes.
The man behind the sound, the men behind the sound, the arrangers.
The
as they were
arrangers,
called.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bandra you've lived here all your life, basically, right?
Yep.
Fishing village, port.
Yeah, there were several villages. There were about 6 or 7 villages and fishing villages. Yeah. So it was quite a quaint town in the good old days,
Yeah.
dotted by major bungalows.
Right. And through all this, the Marathas, the English, your parents met in Bombay.
My parents met in Bombay.
When?
Yeah. My parents met around, they got married in 1957. 57, yeah. And they met in Bombay, yeah, at a dance, which was the most prestigious dance at that time at the railway.
Right.
It was called the Baikala Mechanics.
The mechanics, amazing.
Yeah, they loved that.
57, right? And 3 years later, you were born.
I was born there.
To of course, Anglo-Indian parents.
Right.
Your father was a civil servant.
My father was in the customs, yeah.
And but he possessed a deep love for music as well.
He did, yeah. He was,
Instrument?
he had, he used to play quite a few instruments actually. He played the piano, he played the violin, he played the ukulele, he played the guitar. And he was an LTCL from the Royal Academy of Music.
That's
He had
amazing.
passed all his exams, yeah.
So where do you get all these instruments at that time?
Oh, he would get them here.
You'd get them?
You'd get them here, yeah. They were quite available at that time.
Yeah.
And he had a passion for music. He used to He was also a part of the very famous Paranjoti Academy chorus.
Right.
It still exists. They were the premier choral group in the world at that time, singing Western classical music. And it was conducted by a genius called Victor Paranjoti.
Right.
He went touring all over the world, some 20 odd countries in 60 cities. In 1965 or 66 it was. Yeah.
So-
we gave concerts all over the world.
All over the world.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was a musical household
Yeah,
growing
he
up.
was quite, yeah,
for you.
very,
growing up.
for me.
Opened
A
up
big
your
influence.
big influence.
Yeah.
on imagination as well.
Yeah, I went to a lot of concerts with him.
You did.
Yeah.
You have two siblings.
I have two siblings. My sister's older than me. She lives abroad. And my brother, younger than me.
Still, it's
Yeah, who's much taller than you.
taller than you.
Yeah,
Taller than you.
He's a giant.
Quite-
6'7".
No, you're quite tall as well. Your mother passed away recently.
Yeah,
We are actually in her home here,
right,
besides the steps which lead
Yeah.
up to Mount Mary.
right.
What was your relationship like with her growing up?
My mother was everything for me in my life, and because I lost my father very young. So mother was mother and father. She was a single parent who brought us up. And it was a difficult time for her, but she did manage, And she was an amazing soul, She had some sort of a naive wisdom,
I like that.
which I didn't quite appreciate when I was young. But I got to, recognize it and sort of identify with it as I grew older.
Of course, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Growing up, you don't really
Yeah,
fully
you were
appreciate.
rebellious, and I was quite a rebel.
You were?
I was a complete rebel. Yeah,
A specific
through.
age?
Right through, from the age of like 14, 15 until about almost 30, 20,
30.
30.
That rebellious
I
streak lasts-
still am a rebel.
Of course, otherwise you wouldn't be doing what you do, right?
Yeah.
Is it fair to say, Denzel, that the introduction to music and theatre came from your father?
Yes. He exposed me to quite a bit of the arts. In fact, there's a picture there. See of him on the stage doing a play.
Oh, I thought that's him.
Yeah, that's him. That's him doing a play called Monkey's Paw. He was also involved in amateur theatre.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I remember sitting backstage there. And,
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
how old were you? Remember?
I must have been about 8, 9 years old. At that
So,
time.
rebel, mother, siblings, theatre, music,
Yeah,
backstage at plays. Amazing.
Yeah.
And Bandra at that time.
If you walk through those narrow, winding lanes inside there, you'll see some quaint little houses.
That was your childhood.
Yeah, I used to walk to school through them.
School, which was?
Yeah. School was St. Andrew's High School. Yeah, in Bandra. Yeah.
Yes, in Bandra.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Where the auditorium is now.
And did you do plays on that auditorium growing up?
No, there was no auditorium then. Yeah, that was a big field where we'd go and catch frogs.
Or frogs? You didn't play any sports?
It was
then?
an open field and vegetables were grown there and
Oh, wow.
stuff like that.
Things have
It was an
changed.
open field.
Yeah.
Now, there was only the school building which existed. And now there's a college that's come up there which has this auditorium.
How did the establishment, right, of Mehboob Studios by director Mehboob Khan change the landscape in Bandra?
When growing up here, there were a lot of major films that were shot in that
Yeah.
studio. And see, living in Bandra, one was exposed to all the film people because most of them lived here at that time. So it was a part of life and we never really cared. I remember in those days on Carter Road, there were hordes of women howling every Sunday evening outside Rajesh Khanna's house. He was truly the first real superstar. And he would come out and wave at them. And these women, like normal sari-clad, women standing out there and screaming, It was a part of life here in Bandra at that time. All of them were here. Sunil Dutt, Nargis, everybody lived
Everyone. Were you aware, about gangsters like Haji Mastan, who was a smuggler and later...
Of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what was the landscape like? You must have been hearing of them.
Yeah. They were all around. Yeah, they were all around, but nobody really cared because they never interfered with us. Yeah, and even if you did come across them, they were pretty civil, and as long as you had nothing to do with it, you know. I still remember the first real shooting that happened, which was
Where?
at Prabhadevi, at that pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that petrol pump near the temple.
Right. What happened?
Yeah, there was some Dawood's cousin or a brother-in-law or some fellow
Uh-huh.
who got shot at that petrol pump. That was the first real shooting in ganglands in Bombay.
And you were
Yeah, before that this must have been in the late 70s, 80s, yeah, early 80s, late 70s. Yeah. Before there was all stabbings sort of stuff.
first. Oh, okay. Before stabbings and then shooting.
Yeah, that's the shooting.
Right.
Yeah.
The opportunities for a boy like you, was it civil service or was the thought of acting far removed?
No, I had, from the kind of milieu I come from, the
Right.
middle class family milieu that I come from, it was expected that I become a doctor or a
Oh, really?
engineer or a professional, you know, and work in what they say, a limited company,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
get a steady job and work for the rest of your life,
Of course.
you know, and then retire. Concept of getting into business or becoming an artist was never encouraged.
Never.
Yeah. So one had to sort of rebel to do what one wanted to do.
How would you go on about convincing or once you had that sort of a drive, motivation too?
I was quite a misfit actually because I couldn't find my feet post college, and so where do misfits go? Advertising.
Oh, yes. Really?
So yeah, I was always involved in theatre,
Huh.
amateur theatre, you know, right from college.
So after
And-
college, after reading English literature, right, at
Right.
university,
Yeah.
right? You started your professional career as in an ad agency.
I started in an ad agency. Yeah, I started in a company, a small shop called Frank Simoy's Advertising. In the film department, I was the film chief. In college, I had made a short film.
Tell me.
Yeah, on the basis of which I got the job. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then from there, I joined Lintas. Alec Paramsi was my boss. Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
Oh, that was wonderful, wonderful. It was great because at that time, Lintas was the premier agency in the country.
Right.
And we produced a lot of ad film. We were number one. And the film department was king because we were the largest revenue earner for the whole company.
Of course.
Yeah. So it was great, yeah, handling ad films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learned a lot.
Yeah, we learned a lot. Yeah.
Learned a lot.
Yeah.
Now, the National Center for Performing Arts
Mm.
in 1988, but that was before, after.
I think it was there. It was there. I think the NCA started somewhere around the 80s.
Yes.
I think, yeah. But I really began performing there only in 88. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And yeah,
And at that point in your career, there was a pivotal person in your life, Per Padamsee, correct? Director who was directing a play called Liaison Dangereuse
yes,
with Nasiruddin Shah.
yeah.
How did that happen? And which part did you play?
I played a part called Azolan, who was his valet, actually, yeah, at that time. We had renamed the play here. It was called Deception.
Deception.
Written by Christopher Hampton. So, yeah, it was Deceptions. And it had Sabira Merchant. It had Ratna Pathak Shah. It had Nasiruddin Shah. And Pearl had been a very old friend, and I had done a few workshops with her, etc., etc. And I had always looked up to her as a director, and she cast me in it as this part. And that's when I met Nasir and Ratna. Yeah.
Nervous? Rehearsals?
Oh, yeah, it was a great learning experience. So just watching them
Yeah, sure.
work at that time, just keenly, intently watching how they were going about their parts and, their characters. And the whole process, it was really, really wonderful.
Would it be fair to say he became a mentor to you, Nasir?
Yes, and later on he did. So, post that play, Nasir invited me to join his theatre group, Motley.
Motley.
Yeah. And literally threw me a few scripts and said, learn these lines. And the next show of this play you're doing. And then after that. So I started with Waiting for Godot.
Oh, wait. So you started with that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
course.
And then I went on to do the Caine Mutiny Court Martial.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
But,
Wonderful.
okay, wait. Coming back a little bit to Waiting for Godot, right?
Yeah.
You played the monumental role of Lucky.
Yeah.
Pozzo's, let's face it, slave, right?
Lucky is the beast of burden.
The beast of burden.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
And in it, you had a 4-page monologue.
Yeah, it's 2.5 pages actually.
2.5 pages.
Of it's one sentence of 2.5 pages.
One sentence.
It's one sentence.
Let's hear some.
Yeah, it's. I don't know if I. Yeah, it's written actually by Beckett in the stream of consciousness technique. Yeah, for which got famous because of James Joyce and his book.
Ulysses.
No, before that, Portrait
Portrait
of
of a
an
Young
Artist.
Man is an artist.
Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man. James Joyce was going blind toward the end of his life. Yeah. And he had a writer who would write for him. And that writer was Samuel Beckett, the young Samuel Beckett.
Both were Irish.
Yeah. And so later on, cut a long story short, Samuel Beckett and James Joyce had a fallout. Yeah. So when when Beckett wrote Godot,
Right.
he said, this is, he was envious of the successes, for the stream of consciousness technique, and it became let me show you what stream of consciousness is all about, and here it is. So he wrote this piece, which has various levels to it, and there are some. I mean, I can't go into it. You can.
No.
I write a thesis on, the references in
Of course.
that speech. So it's a fabulous piece of literature.
I know, yeah.
It's a fabulous piece of literature. So yeah, I did Lucky, and Lucky speaks only once in the whole play, and he speaks this sentence, one sentence of 2.5 pages.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to memorize it? Huh?
I was in my youth.
Yeah.
At that time, and I was challenged, and I think I did it surprisingly fast.
Yeah.
And Mr. Shah was himself very impressed.
I'm sure. Well done.
Yeah.
And at that time, the other big influence in your life at a young age was of course, Lilette Dubé. And you joined her repertory, Prime Time Theatre.
Yeah.
Prime Time Theatre.
Yeah, Prime Time Theatre.
On a Muggy Night in Bombay, Sammy, August Osage County.
Yeah, but before that, while I was in Motley, I had another influence, a great Vijay Mehta, the great Vijayaba. She was a fabulous director, and she cast me in a play called Letters to a Daughter from Prison,
Right.
where I played Nehru. And that was a fabulous experience. Yeah.
In Bombay.
In Bombay, yeah. And after one of the shows, it was at the Experimental Theatre. I had just finished 2 performances, and after the second performance, I'd gone to my dressing room and I was taking out my dhoti and all that, and I lit up a cigarette. You could smoke in then those days
No
in
way.
the dressing room. Yeah, yeah. And I heard a loud knock on the door outside. And they opened the door, and it was the stage manager. Open the door. I said, no, wait, man, wait. I'm just like, just changing out. No, open the door. The people want to meet you. So I quickly put on my torn Fatela jeans. I was in that denim phase at that time. I only wore denim, So I put on my torn jeans and etc. and opened the door, and there was a whole. I was surprised there was a whole horde of people outside, including Vijaya Mehta and Ronnie Screwvala, and there was a foreigner, bald man with a young boy, and he walked straight up to me and held my hand and had tears in his eyes. Says, wonderful performance, really wonderful, very British accent. And I was trying to figure out who he was. And then Vijaya Mehta came and said, let's meet Ben Kingsley.
Oh, God. Which year?
This
Amazing.
was in,
Had he done,
post Gandhi.
Bose Gandhi?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Flawed.
Yeah, I was on top of the world. He liked my performance very much.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Listen, okay, Motley with Nasir and, others, Lilette, Primetime. This, of course, you incarnated Nehru. What were you discovering about yourself, Hansol, at that time? You were pretty young.
Yeah, I was pretty young. I was quite lost, actually. Yeah.
You were lost?
I was lost. I was lost in the sense that all I knew is that I liked to act. I found acting, getting on stage, therapeutic for me, for myself. And that's all I knew at that time. So I just, every opportunity I got, I did a play. And it was theatre. I had no dreams of being in film or anything like that. I wanted to do theatre. And that's what I pursued. And I did quite a few plays with various people at that time. But I didn't really know where it was going. Yeah.
No, but I'm sure,
the only means at that time I knew how to support myself was do dubbings and voiceovers and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's what I did parallelly to sort of get by.
Yeah.
And I did my theatre. Yeah. For quite a few years that went on.
Yeah, of course. But subconsciously, you were learning from the really greats of theatre,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. I had the fortune of being with some of the greatest. Yeah.
Do you remember any of the challenges you faced? Apart from, of course.
Well, there were lots of challenges, of course. There was no money.
No money. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the biggest one, right? Of course.
There was no money. One was perennially broke. And it was a struggle.
Did
Yeah.
theatre give you a respite, rehearsing,
Much of a
performing,
respite.
right?
Yeah.
From the day-to-day going on?
Just, as I said, it was therapeutic. for me.
Therapeutic,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's your Zoe.
Zoe,
How long have you had Zoe?
come, baby girl. Come. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Zoe's been with me for 10 years now. She's quite old, but she looks like a little girl.
She does.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Any important lessons you learned from a director or a fellow actor? A best piece of advice you could share with us?
Best piece of advice was many little nuggets that I can quote. For instance, when Nasir used to tell me very often, less is more. Less is more.
Right. Okay.
Which is an important one. Because we, sometimes try to overdo things, and that old Indian style of melodrama
of course.
and all that. But that's not needed sometimes, mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it. Less is more, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. That less is more? Does it mean you do does it mean you do less? Because I'm sure the theater is different, and of course you've done many films. We'll come to it, but is it on camera? Less is more. Theater, less is more. What's this? What is it?
Less is more largely means you don't have to exaggerate, artificially exaggerate. You have to feel.
And how
Once you
important
get the fundas
Right.
right, yeah. Once you know what the scene is, etc., and if you feel it, yeah, then you don't have to over exaggerate it. Yeah. On stage, maybe sometimes you do a heightened version of it. Camera, it's different when there are so many factors when shooting. There is lensing, there is how close the camera is to you, how far it is, what is the lens,
technique?
etc., etc., etc. Those are the factors that and film is different. Film can convey something by it can zoom into your fingers and show your nervousness by this, by just doing this. On stage you have to do something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's one long shot.
It's one long shot without any
yeah.
mistakes happen, right?
Of
Yeah.
course, of course.
Fuck
of
ups.
course, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hindi films.
Mm.
Will you allow me to list a few, please?
Yeah.
Pop with John Abraham, The Mem Saab,
Yeah.
2006, Mumbai Salsa, Zid, 2014, Bombay Velvet with Anurag Kashyap, Phantom with Saif Ali Khan, Badla with Amitabh Bachchan. And international films. One Night with the King, 2007, O2, Omar Sharif. Both fucking fabulous actors, by the way. Both in Lawrence of Arabia, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Lunchbox with Irfan, Marigold Hotel and its sequel, Maggie Smith, Judi Dench. I mean, she had won an Oscar for Shakespeare in Love at that time.
Yeah,
And the great Bill Nighy
yeah.
and the rising star Dev Patel, Slumdog
Yeah,
Millionaire.
Yeah.
Fond memories of Sharif and O2 first?
But before this, I did another film, I mean, actually, my first real film was Mango Souffle.
Mango Souffle, yes.
Yeah, directed by Mahesh Dattani. It was based on a play which I had done with Lilith Dubey, which he himself had written, called A Muggy Night in Mumbai.
Yeah, which you done on stage.
Yeah.
O2,
Omar Sharif was.
Omar Sharif, yes.
Yeah. It's quite a character. He was, when I met him, he was in his 70s. Yeah. I think early 70s and onset of Alzheimer's.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
They'd stopped their antics, which they had started on the sets of Lawrence of Arabia, drinking.
No, he was.
He was?
No, he was very disciplined and
Okay.
and cool actually. He would have he liked his single malt, 1 or 2 drinks, and he loves Indian food. He had a friend, in shooting with Lawrence of Arabia, he became very good friends with Ayaz Johan. He would come regularly and spend time with him in Bombay
Right.
and go to the races. They were both fond of horses.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gambling?
Yeah. They were both.
and
For Omar Sharif, it was bridge and horses.
Bridge and horses. Dev Patel was starting his career. I mean, he had done a few very important films. I mean, could you see him rising to where he achieved?
He was already a star, I think, when he did this.
Yeah.
Yeah. He already had a few films under his belt. I mean, Slumdog, I think it was already far behind him at that time. He was okay to work. It was a great pleasure to work with him. Yeah.
And then, of course, you played Jinnah
Yeah.
on Gurinder Chand's Viceroy's house
Yeah.
in Jodhpur, where you shot.
That was a particularly good film for me.
How'd you get
The whole process.
the whole process? Yeah.
Because I had to lose weight. I had to get that gaunt look. And I lost, she had given me just a month. And in that month, I lost about 15 kgs, 14 kgs.
Yeah, you did, because I
Yeah.
was also on that.
Yeah,
on the sets.
yeah, you were there.
And I saw you for the first time, and was like, my God, you've lost a lot of weight. What's
Yeah,
happening?
yeah.
But you had to, no?
Yeah, I had to. I wanted that. Really,
exactly.
you know, he was quite gaunt and thin at the time of those years that we were portraying in the film.
Right. Right.
But more than anything else, I loved researching that part. Yeah, and he was a character particularly I had to take extra care in portraying because he's been demonized here. You know, certain parts of the world, certain people are demonized. So you can't, you have to get a balanced view of him. So I had to read up a lot on him.
From the time
And
you
that book that was on which it was based, which was your father's book.
well, yeah, my father's
Right,
book, Shadows of the Great
yeah,
Game, was
Shadow of the Great.
I mean, the film was loosely
loosely
based on,
it,
but
yeah.
they had Jinnah and Gandhi and Wave.
Yeah. But that was a very, very crucial book, a key book in my research because it had, of all the stuff I read, it was the only piece, book which had facts, as it were, because everything that he said, he justified with a actual document,
Exactly.
you know.
That took him 10 years research.
Yeah.
My father.
Yeah. So it's quite an important book, I think, in the history of India about talking about the partition, etc., and what happened then.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's a very good book.
And we met my father in Bangalore.
Of course,
Bangalore.
yeah. What a lovely man.
Yeah.
I remember him telling us the stories about the cinema in Connaught Place when they'd go for screenings with Mountbatten.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And about that incident when I think they were traveling by car from Delhi to your place to his home when he got mugged by some dacoits on the way.
Pulan Devi.
Yeah, Pulan Devi.
Because she's
And then they recognized him and said, "Oh, sorry."
No, because yes. She used to operate around the Chambal area.
Yeah.
Very close to where we live.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
These are more interesting.
And when they realized who he was, how they said they apologized and left.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, coming back. Christopher Nolan, tell me more. Tenet happened 2020. Audition?
Yeah.
There was
No, I was in Bangkok shooting for a commercial when I got a call from LA.
Wow.
Yeah, saying that we need you to do this little piece, and just send it immediately. So I was in my hotel room.
Were you good at auditions?
Oh, I don't know what's good at auditions and what. I just take the scene and do it. You know, I mean, yeah, the best I can.
So this was a self-tape
Yeah,
hotel.
yeah, in my hotel room.
And
And it was a scene from The Departed.
which one?
No, that's exactly what I was. I saw the scene. I said, "This is from the," and I went to look in the film. There's this in the actual film, and the scene doesn't exist.
Achha.
It was the script, but there was no. The scene in the film didn't exist. So I did it anyway,
Oh, but
and I sent it off, and then I got this call, and then you're on, boss.
Feelings?
Oh, lovely! I was ecstatic.
Dimple Kapadia played your wife.
Yeah, she was my wife.
Shot in Bombay.
Shot in Bombay, yeah, in Beach Candy.
God, how was his directing style?
Oh, he's very clear about what he wants. Yeah, very clear. Absolutely clear about what he wanted from the scene. He wanted, and in addition to the script that he gave me, he wanted a little improv before the scene. So we did that. Yeah, I did a little improv and he filmed it, and which led up to the scene. Yeah.
Huge expectation because it was the first film released,
In the pandemic.
in the pandemic.
Yeah, it was the first one. Had it not released, it would have done extremely well.
Yeah?
Yeah. The pandemic, you know what happened.
Yeah, I
It was like really, it was a crazy film.
Crazy film, incredible.
Crazy film.
Ravish, and you were brilliant in it.
wonderful. What stunts and effects, and those were amazing. For me, it was like a Bond film on steroids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had to watch it maybe a few times to understand it. What do you think is the most important quality for an actor to possess? I mean, for a voice,
I think vulnerability.
vulnerability.
The ability to be open and absorb things, and just be open and not set in your, not be judgmental about anything. That is an important quality. Yeah.
If you have if you don't agree with the director, let's say, is there a way to approach? I mean, if you guys don't see eye to eye in theater or in film, or even in television, which is more fast moving, I think. I mean, you've done Deadly Crime and Made in Heaven.
You always arrive at a sort of understanding, because you always go by your gut and you say, no, I feel that this is what I feel I should do, and if it's right, the director will recognize it and say yes,
Yeah.
yeah, why don't you just go ahead? And I've met many directors who are open to that, If they see and it feels right. If it feels right for you, then he will automatically recognize it.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
He
or she.
He or she, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we acted together in 2009-10, I think. Hedda Gabler.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Rehan
yes.
Engineer directed.
Yes.
And Any fond memories? I mean, I was going through some very funky moments. I don't know if you remember. Anyway,
Yeah.
you helped me through it. So I'm very, very. What? It's true. Any fond memories of Hedda Gabler? I mean, that was, for me, it was my first actual play in Bombay with Rehan, and
Yeah.
it's quite a difficult play.
No, it's a difficult play. But it was interesting. It was interesting the way he did it with those lines drawn on stage, demarcated. That's all. Very minimalistic.
Yeah.
There were no sets,
No
and
sets.
nothing. And it relied only on the actors.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it was.
Yeah, and we all had to sit at the
And
back.
we all sat back, made our entries and exits in full view of everybody.
It's crazy.
yeah,
And wonderful.
yeah.
Today you're married, settled in Bandra with your wife's name?
My wife is Carissa.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd never consider moving out of Bandra. You're a Bandra boy, right?
I've grown up, yeah,
I'm
and I'm used to it. I've lived in several places out of the country. But if I'm in this city, I would like to live here.
Yeah.
Continue to live here. Yeah.
What's your favorite play that you've read ever?
Favorite play?
Yeah.
No, I've got several favorite plays.
Tell
Yeah.
me.
One of the greatest scripts for me is Waiting for Godot. Many of life's lessons are embedded in that, in those lines. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite oratorio?
Not really. But I have performed in some very fine auditoriums abroad when I was on tour with this musical,
Merchants of
Merchants of Bollywood. Yeah, I did about maybe 600 shows of that play all over the world.
all over the world. I remember you went.
Yeah.
Yeah. Denzel, losing your mother quite recently, right? What are your thoughts today on mortality?
Death is like the toilet, boss. When you got to go, you got to go.
Thank you for having us in your home. You gotta go, but thank you.